I did it. It turned off. No, it ran out.
I'm sweating, Derrick.
I was in the middle of a service once and I heard it turn off and I was like,
If I'm sitting here, I usually turn it back on. We're talking about the air conditioner, Savannah. These are just the things we discuss. All right. Oh, Jane ran away. Oh, she's just Good morning, everybody. Please make your way to your nearest seat. Please make your way to your preferred seat. Come on in, get comfy. It's nice to see you all here today, and good morning to everybody joining us on our live stream this morning. My name is Alex Koliitzi. I am the Director of Music here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Miami. Today you are joined in our music team by me and our guest accompanist, Savannah Howard. She is a junior at the University of Miami studying piano performance, and I'm very biased because I think she's the best. So my friends, this morning, everyone on the live stream, you are welcome to grab a candle or a chalice that you can light with us when we light our chalice a little bit later in our service. This morning we have two opening soul-singing hymns. They are both in the gray hymnal. The first is number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, and the second is number 361, yes, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, where we will sing verses 1 and 4. For our beginning, we will sing number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Please stand and body your spirit. We will sing it through 3 times. Give me a chord. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. We will now open to 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, verses 1 and 4. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Nice job.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. So welcome to our multi-platform space here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Miami. As a member of our Unitarian Universalist Association, we bring a liberal religious voice to Miami and all of South Florida, and wherever you are live streaming in from today. A region, of course, being here in Miami, that we acknowledge sits on the traditional lands of the Tequesta, the Miccosukee tribe of Indians of Florida, and the Seminole tribe of Florida. So I am Christine Hughes-Pontier. I'll be your worship associate today. My pronouns are she, her. I am a white cisgender woman with medium brown hair. I am wearing my t-shirt that says voting for the future today because we're in our voting era, aren't we? Yes, we are. And up on the chancel with me, we have Savannah Howard, our pianist. Alex Kolaiti, our music director, and Derrick Mustelier, who will be leading us in a repeat worship service today. So this service was originally presented in July as part of our summer series, and the worship committee felt that because, we're a little bit of a smaller community in the summer, that this message was so important, we really wanted to repeat it when everybody came back from their summer vacations and summer travels, because everyone needs to hear this message today. UU Miami is a community of brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. Currently, our Sunday services are guided by our worship committee, whose purpose is to support and strengthen our shared ministry. As we head into a search for a minister, our services will be graced by voices from the Miami community and our Unitarian Universalist faith. We are also committed to nurturing and uplifting the spiritual leadership of individuals in our own congregation. So I will say, if you're interested in joining, even if it's just for a reading, something short, something simple and easy, even one time to try, I'm going to tell you to talk to Jane, who currently is occupied in the booth right now running our live stream. Thank you, Jane. But yeah, definitely connect with Jane or really any one of us in the leadership, and we can help you get connected. We love to hear more voices up here every Sunday. So if you're new or new-ish to our community, we invite you to learn more about UU Miami. You can find us on all the socials at UUC Miami. That's our handle. You can email our communications director, Hyro, for more information. And if you've attended our services a few times, consider becoming a member of our congregation, right? You can talk to any of us with a lanyard, any of us on the board. There's a couple of us here today. We'd be happy to talk to you about what it means to become a member of the congregation, and we would welcome you.
We begin our services with the lighting of a chalice, a symbol of our religious tradition. Our chalice lighting words today are from Howard Thurman. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive.
Oh, I am waking up to find my world between the dying and being reborn. I see what is and I see what could be. Can't close my eyes again and go back to sleep. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. How can I change our course? Just a lonely voice. Wish I could lose myself in all the noise. But if we all would rise, a generation proud with a mighty song, we could turn this world around. So fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Ancestors all behind, and before me every child. I bring the power of a long unbroken line. So when our time is through, I wanna know, did what we came to do for the future ones. So in our darkest days, may we all be strong and give our lives so life may go on. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide.
It was autumn in the garden. All the flowers had died and dropped their seeds. Only one seed was left, a little dandelion seed who was afraid to let go. But the winter wind began to blow. The stronger the wind blew, the tighter the seed hung on, until it felt the wind blowing right through it. Then the seed left the garden behind. It became part of the wind and was carried away. The world was bigger than the seed ever imagined. It was also more frightening, more lonely, and more beautiful. The more the seed saw, the smaller it felt. It wondered where it belonged. The seed landed when snow began to fall. It listened in silence as peace covered it like a blanket. Finally, spring came. Sunshine warmed the air and soil, and the little seed began to grow tiny leaves and roots. Its leaves spread wide to gather sunlight. Its roots reached deep to drink fresh rain. Soon the seed flowered into the bright, delicate dandelion it was meant to be. It shared its green leaves with deer and rabbits. It gave sweet nectar to bees and butterflies. Then, almost overnight, the life that began as one little dandelion seed ripened into many. They each became part of the wind and were carried away, all except one. "Don't be afraid," whispered the dandelion. "The wind and the sun and the rain will take care of you. Let go and you will see. You will see."
We will now take this time to sing the children and youth out to their RE classes. You all know what to do. Be a leader. If you don't, today we're singing a cappella, meaning no piano, so I need your help. Here is our starting note. Youth, will you please stand? Let's sing, everyone. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
We will now tend to joys and sorrows within our community. Please remember that our service is live streamed, and if those on the live stream have joys or sorrows they'd like to share, please do in the chat.
Good morning, I'm Bob Jacober. I'd like to share my philosophy with you. A worker alone can do a small job, alone or together, should we be alone or together. A worker alone can do a small job or two, but anything larger requires a crew. This building we're in took the labor of dozens, but a small storage shed just took me and 2 cousins. So let's join UU Miami in helping us grow as we start here on Sunday with our tribal morning show. If we gather here together in unity, LGBTQ, and all variety, and contribute to the bettering of our greater Miami community.
Hi, everybody. I think some of you may know I've been dealing with becoming a grandfather back in 3 months ago. And yeah, the little baby, Sean is his name, he unfortunately, through no fault of his own, became a ward of the state for the last 3 months, and we're getting him within the next week. Me and my wife will be raising him for the next year, or whatever it takes to maybe mitigate the issues that have surrounded this little gentleman. But I appreciate you guys being here for me. You've always been a source of support, and I appreciate you.
Tough to follow that one up. Oh, I'm sorry. For the camera, for the live stream, hello. I'm CJ Weber, and a joy to report. My stepfather's getting better. Following the weeks in hospital, the weeks in rehab, at home he's getting around on the walker a little bit better, a little faster every day, a little less need for me to shadow behind him or my mom too. So, but you know, thank you all for your positive healing energy and support. I appreciate it.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine Gregory. My joy is that my husband began his Master's of Music Therapy at University of Miami, and I know there's a lot of UM connections in this room, but seeing the joy that has brought to his life and mine as well now, because just every little thing now that he's dedicating his life to his passion is like, of course I want to wash the dishes. Of course I want to pay the bills. Of course I want to file the paperwork. It's just, when you do what you love, it just trickles everywhere. So it's been so wonderful.
We honor and hold all these joys and sorrows shared today and all those unspoken but living in our hearts.
The offering that we give each Sunday is not just a stale habit. It is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to this community. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. So on the screen, there's a QR code. I invite you to donate using your smartphone. If that is your preferred method, you can go to our website. There is a big donate button as well. On the donation page, through the QR code or our website, however you get there, there's an opportunity to either make a one-time donation or actually to set up recurring monthly donations to UU Miami, which is what some people prefer to do for their pledge. For those of you who are present with us in the sanctuary, you can also scan the QR code, or John is going to be coming around with the basket. So from July through September, excuse me, UU Miami will split the plate with Safe Schools South Florida. So your offering today will not only benefit UU Miami, but also Safe Schools South Florida's mission to create safer schools where all children can learn and thrive, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or that of their parents or guardians. This congregation is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope. Let us give now to sustain and strengthen this place and the work that we do in the world. May we say yes to the values of this faith.
We will now take this time to sing together in the gray hymnal number 347, Gather the Spirit. Please stand in body or spirit and join in the singing. Gather the Spirit, harvest the poor. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, the body and
once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again.
Now I invite you to close your eyes and find a comfortable space within. A place deep within you where all that makes you who you are resides. Now I invite you to hum with me the note which makes this place inside you vibrate. Pay close attention to those vibrations as they try to speak to you. You may not speak the same language they do, but listen anyway. You'll understand one day. Good morning. We are always changing, always evolving. Not just our world, but ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our spirit. We don't have a choice, really. If we stop changing, we essentially stop living. If our cells stop breaking apart and reconstituting into something new, it kind of means we're dead. But that's the beauty of transformation. We come apart and we put ourselves back together, better, stronger, wiser, more beautiful than ever. Transformation is an opportunity to envision amazing new things to build out of the pieces that make us up. a time to refortify the foundations on which we build, to be sure, but also a time to imagine new ways of being and doing and grow into our greater selves. Some of you may not know that when I first joined this congregation, we were in the midst of a transition not all that unlike the one we're navigating today. It was 14 years ago this July that I walked through those doors for the first time during a difficult time in my life. It wasn't long before this congregation began to recognize my own unique gifts and passions, some of which even I didn't really know existed at the time, and empowered me to help lead the congregation through that transition and emerge a stronger, healthier community. They asked me to serve on the ministerial search committee and sent me as a delegate to General Assembly, and what followed was nothing short of a spiritual transformation that led me all the way to seminary and a Master's of Divinity. The road certainly has been muddy and rough at times, so to speak. For one thing, I chose Star King School for the Ministry to pursue my theological education, and as luck would have it, literally days after receiving my acceptance letter, controversy erupted at our small, mighty seminary by the bay. During the search process to find a new president of the school, there were some in the community who felt that the process had been corrupted in some way and therefore took it upon themselves to leak confidential documents to the public. These actions caused immense hurt to a great number of people, and that hurt snowballed into a series of fear-based reactions on all sides. Trust was deeply fractured, and fear and anger filled in the cracks and expanded. But I and my fellow incoming classmates stood undaunted in the face of this immense challenge. In fact, come to think of it, we never really even thought twice about just diving headfirst into the muck of this seemingly impossible moment. Our faith was certainly shaken, but it never broke, and with ferocious courage and radical compassion, we began to rebuild the trust, hope, and love of our beautiful community. Many of those who were already at the school when we came in told us, "You guys really helped us heal." And we learned and grew so much as progressive religious leaders, thanks to the incredible challenge of that immense moment. The transition happening at UU Miami right now is significantly less sticky and hairy, thankfully. But I think it's no less ripe with possibility. Now more than ever, we are truly the stakeholders of this shared ministry, and now more than ever, the depth of our commitment and our passion for this church and this faith will be reflected in its growth and thriving. And there will be so many opportunities in the months to come and the years to come to harness those passions and deepen that commitment, to build on the rock-solid foundation built by the ministry of Reverend Tom Capo, and to continue to dream bigger. I'm willing to bet that pretty much every single person in here has at least one thing in their life that makes their eyes just light up to talk about it. I'm here to tell you we want that from you. If that thing you love has any connection to this faith at all, and trust me when I tell you that's a big umbrella, we need that from you. To paraphrase the great Howard Thurman, don't ask what this church needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what this church needs is people who have come alive. I think Mr. Thurman would also agree that the world needs this as well. The world needs a Unitarian Universalist congregation of Miami that has come alive. And even more so, the world needs a Unitarian Universalism that has come alive. When I was in high school, I went to a lot of local punk rock shows. And little by little, I started becoming part of this really amazing group of about 20 or 30 friends in the punk rock scene, including my best friend in the group, Matt. One of my first and best experiences with Matt and the rest of our amazing friend group was a show for the band Against Me that Matt himself had put together at a venue called The Alley, which is sort of like the hub of the Miami punk scene in the early 2000s. When I asked him how he had managed to book a show for one of his favorite bands, his response really struck me, and it's stuck with me. He said, "I just emailed them." What a novel concept, right? You want a band to play where you live, you ask them. You ask them and they actually answer you, because that's kind of how the DIY punk community works. There's not really separation between artist and audience. They're your peers, not your superiors. That's kind of the entire point of punk rock in a way that I feel like so many people seem to miss, this idea that it could be you up there. It could be any of us. No one is above anyone else, and every single one of us is as much a part of this as anyone else. That was an important lesson that I learned from being involved in the DIY punk scene, and one that I've strived to carry into every aspect of my life, but especially the life of this church and this faith. This idea that we are the church, we are the faith, that the power is entirely in our hands to shape our community and make it what we want it to be. That no community can thrive unless each one of us is invested and involved. And obviously not everyone has to contribute to the same degree or in the same way, but it is vital that each person gives something of themselves and do their part to create and shape the community they envision. Don't ask what this church needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it, because what this church needs is people who have come alive. Allow me to get a little bit more literal. Think about something you wish this church was offering or wish this church was doing, but it isn't. Something that nourishes your spirit that you're missing out on or that you have to go elsewhere to get. I'll let you in on a little secret. You can do it yourself. For example, we used to have a meditation group that met once a week here at the church. Would you like to see us offer that again? Talk to some people about starting it up again. Do you love movies and wish you had more people to talk to about movies? I know I do. Get some folks together for a popcorn theology group. Small group ministries like these are a great way to build community and shared commitment. Have you ever craved an alternative to our Sunday worship offerings? Would you like to see us have a presence on local college campuses? Are you interested in getting together to study sacred texts, spiritual writings, stories, mythology? Do it yourself. The possibilities for this church are as endless as our imaginations. Now I want you to imagine that this church is a place that feeds and nourishes your spirit, your body, and your mind in such a way that you can't wait to come back every week, that you count the days till Sunday with the same irrepressible anticipation that you count the days to Friday. What does that church look like? Better yet, imagine this church and this faith doesn't stop for you when you get home from church on Sunday, but rather is part of your life in a ways that feed and nourish you 7 days a week. A full week faith, so to speak. What does that look like? We talk a lot in Unitarian Universalism about living our faith, but how many of us have ever given serious thought to what that means? How essential is this faith to our lives and our worlds? Is Unitarian Universalism what we do, or is it who we are? I know that I long for a Unitarian Universalism that we simply cannot live without, a faith that lives deep in our bones and shapes who we are in the same way that who we are shapes this faith. Because that is the kind of church that inspires us to give more, to do more, to be more. We should always be asking ourselves, how can we do better? How can we be of service to one another? How can we assure that all of our needs are met? That this is a place so vitally important in all our lives that we will do whatever it takes to make it thrive and grow. That when people walk through those doors on Sunday, they come into a place where they will be nourished, where they will be lifted up and supported, where they will be transformed. That we will be able to carry our healing message out into this world that so desperately needs it now more than ever. Today, I want you to imagine what is possible for this church. I want you to imagine that the resources already exist for everything you want to do. What would you do? What would this church look like? How would it be different than it is now? So often we think of congregational budgets as these very pragmatic things. We have a pledge drive, we come up with a number. This is how much money we have to spend this year. What can we do? What can we afford? What can't we afford? But what if we flip the script a little bit? What if we started with, what do we want to do? What is our wildest dream for this church? What would be possible for us then? How would it transform our lives and our faith? Don't ask what this church needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what this church needs is people who have come alive. A church full of people who have come alive is a church come alive, and the world needs a Unitarian Universalist congregation of Miami that has come alive, and even more so, the world needs a Unitarian Universalism that has come alive. That's the kind of church and the kind of faith that is vital and indispensable to the people who call it home, and feels like home to all who pass through its doors. That's the kind of church that inspires people to give of their time, talents, and treasure like their lives depend on it. Lives? Sorry. That's the kind of church that can truly change the world. May it be so.
Keep the energy, stand up. Our closing hymn today is in the Teal hymnal number 1028, The Fire of Commitment. From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free
ablaze. When our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. You can be happy. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
My joy today is that that hymn is very hard and Savannah did a really good job.
Amazing, amazing. So we are in our time of gratitude and reminders of all the fantastic things coming up. I hope you've been inspired to think about more things and ways that you can serve and become alive for this community. So I want to first thank all of our staff and all of the volunteers who make this community happen each and every day, each and every week. Our board of trustees, our committees who volunteer their time and energies and treasures. Cheryl, who is our business manager, I know we don't see her very often, but she is fantastic in keeping this place. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our child care workers, who we are still looking for 1 or 2 more. If you know of anyone who would be willing and interested in that position, check out the weekly. To Jairo, our communications director, who does all the fantastic, beautiful imagery campaigns, and there's lots more to come there. To Kat, our Sunday service assistant, thank you. To our greeter, I believe it was John today, thank you so much for being there. Yeah. And Jane, who's running our live stream today. Woo, Jane! Wearing all the hats. Thank you so much to Savannah for filling in for Joseph today, accompanying our hymns and providing beautiful music for us. Alex, for your musical direction and leading us in the hymns. And Derrick, thank you so much for your leadership and service today. That was indeed an important message, and I'm so glad that we could bring it again to all of us. And finally, thank you for being here, and all of you on the live stream. We really appreciate that you showed up for our community. So coming up next Sunday is our first Sunday Connect. We'll begin our service as usual, and then we're going to divide into different gatherings to deepen our connection with our community and follow up with our momentum from today's service. So in next week's Sunday Connect, we're going to be doing this monthly, is the plan, right? So next week, you're going to be able to choose from 2 different breakout gatherings. One is an invitation to serve. We're going to talk about all the ways through presentation and conversation, finding out the answers to questions like, where does UU Miami need extra helping hands? What are you committed to when you might say yes to offering your time and energy and passions? And how can you contribute, even if only in the smallest but still very important way? So that's going to be one conversation. Another one will be the invitation to act. It's going to be a voter letter writing campaign. So all ages are invited. In this workshop, members and friends will help writing, addressing, decorating letters and envelopes to voters across the country to make sure that everyone gets out and exercises our right to vote in November. For lunch, I didn't see who was preparing lunch, but as soon as those doors in the back are opened, they will be revealed. So thank you so much. We have lunch today. We're always really grateful. Encourage a donation. If this is the first time you're here, please don't worry about it. Just join us in lunch, stay and chat, and enjoy a really delicious meal with all of us. All right, Luigi and Ginger, woo! Thank you, all right. Coming up this week, worship committee, if you're interested in being a face up here, even if it's just for a reading or a greeting, you can always pop into the worship committee meeting. It's Monday, September 16th. Actually, that's not this week, that's next week, okay. It's the 16th at 6 p.m. And then the very next day, the Board of Trustees meeting is on the 17th at 6:30 in the Emerson room or on Zoom. You are always welcome to pop into any of these meetings. Also, don't forget on the 20th, it's a Friday, we're having our intergenerational game night and potluck. It is a really, really fun time of games and trivia contests put on by Jessica, our redirector. It's really fun. Invite friends and join us on Friday the 20th. And I would say this is the last thing, but definitely the biggest and the most exciting coming up very soon. So I know that we've been talking about the Focus on Abortion exhibit that's going to be here in the sanctuary. For about a week, it'll be here present with us. We're going to close out September by inviting everyone to this photo exhibition, right? So we're going to host this traveling exhibit. It showcases photographic portraits of individuals who have had an abortion or are close to the abortion experience. The exhibit is intended to encourage civil discourse about abortion by sharing their nuanced and personal stories. So our big event for this exhibition is Thursday, September 26th in the evening, 7 to 9 p.m. There is indeed a QR code. We want you to RSVP and make sure that we know you're coming. There are tickets. They are free. You can also choose to donate if you are so moved. But really, we want you to invite your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, your coworkers, anyone and everyone to this event. We want this to be a moment and a time where we can invite people into our congregation for an experience like this so that they know what we stand for, what we affirm and promote in the world, right? And how strong we feel about reproductive justice and rights. So please mark your calendars and invite widely and share. And thanks so much for being here today.
I do not do enough. I do not give enough. But I want to. This is not false humility, it is truth. I am not yet the person I want to be, but I feel that I can be. Jesus, John Lennon, and probably your mama have all talked about my problem. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I know that who I am is not what I do, but I also know that what I do shapes and creates who I am. I want to be better than this. I want to be around people who encourage me to do so, who teach me how, who motivate me to set aside my smartphone and join them in transforming our little corner of the world into a better place, which will help transform me into a better person. I want to change my life in a big way. I want to give myself to something big. But I need help. I need tools so that I can manage my money, my time, my ideas. I need to feel I'm not doing it alone, that I'm part of something important. Sunday, I will walk in the doors of your church. What will you have for me? I invite you now to stand and greet those around you, particularly those you don't know. Let us deepen our connections in this beloved community.